Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this recap video I'm going to talk to you about a kind of a broader topic, but it's one that I can show you a couple of trade examples from today. But that is the idea that some of your best trades and consistently some of your best setups are going to come in markets where you have what I call directional bias, or even better, directional conviction. And that simply means that there's typically going to be a trend in the market. And I've got crude oil up here on this screen for a reason. That is, and not now, right? I'm not talking about, I think what's obviously a downtrend at this point, right? But I'm talking about, how do you gauge a market that's changing and shifting to something more bearish to really proving that there is a downtrend that could organize? And there's a couple really interesting things just on this chart that are repeatable, right? The process has to be repeatable, otherwise there's no process. Otherwise there's no way you can build a successful career. And here's the process. You look at the color of the candles. There's a reason I have grab candles: green, red, and blue. To me, nothing is easier than just asking, what's the color of the candle and what does that candle color tell you about sentiment, momentum, and ultimately trend. So a few things. One, we went from kind of a decent looking uptrend here from September into October, and then the market went blue neutral and then red bearish, and then broke down through the 200 EMA, which has, I think, a psychological and technical effect on the market that is markedly bearish. Now, we've had chop in the market, and we can talk some other time about how the grab candles indicate the difference between an up or down trend versus a non-trending or choppy market. But again, let's just talk about what's happening now in this idea of directional bias or directional conviction. Most definitely, after we broke this 200 EMA, my opinion was we're going to see lower lows, and I could care less about what OPEC, Saudis, supply. I really could care less about that point. Technically, we knew there was a shift. And all those realities, the fact that we have, 7 or 8 weeks in a row of inventory buildups in crude, and that even though OPEC has talked about some new production cut or taper, we don't have widespread acceptance of that throughout OPEC countries and Russia. We have an equities market that's rolling over. We have the EIA, IEA, and OPEC themselves saying that we're going to have reduced demand in 2019. All that's been going on for months. But, to me, the culmination of that, the proof that that macro is finally in play, is something as simple as the crude oil market breaking down through the 200 EMA. So you kind of put all that together, the macro, the technicals, the price action. All right, so directional conviction. Am I a bear in crude? Absolutely. So let's fast forward to what we did today. Today we had crude oil inventories, which is one of my favorite times to put a limit order just above current price based upon different types of price movement range expectations, and let the market come up, tag that limit order weighting, and head back down. We've done that a number of times to tremendous high percentage success. But here's a great example of where, on a day that would be possibly a day of shenanigans, as we like to call it in the chat room, we saw a 4 or 5% rally. Really just an epic and very quick short squeeze. This wasn't a small move. This was a big move in a very short amount of time. The typical price movement range, by the way, in crude for a day is anywhere from $2 to $2.20, and we moved almost that much within the span of less than really an hour, but just maybe right about an hour. So very dramatic move, in about 4%. So not only was the scope of the move significant, the speed, how quickly it happened, was significant too. And here's the thing. You can't account for a 4% move out of the blue. If we saw that with the 1030 crude oil inventories release, that at least would have some timing volatility associated with it. But the time that this happened was really completely random and accompanied no news. Grand opening, grand closing, right? On any kind of 60-minute trade. It just didn't have the ability to handle that kind of what we call shock absorption in the market. And then what happened? We ended up trading up into, and these are the two alerts, by the way, that I sent out. You can take, pause the video if you like, and that's exactly the alerts that went out to members. The second alert is what I want you to pay attention to, that 180-minute short. That's exactly what we did. The market went berserk, moved up about 4%. We looked for another time frame with a downtrend, captured that with an expected price movement range. No news apparent, so I figured this market's going to fade it. And we actually got not only the entry, but we hit our profit target today. And that was really all because I had directional conviction. I didn't get bamboozled into the long position because the overall trend is down. I didn't flip my opinion. I didn't flip direction because I had conviction. And when you have that kind of conviction with a trend that you've identified, this is when you can take these kind of high volatility moves and still be able to tell the market, yeah, you haven't tricked me. You might have tricked them, haven't tricked me, and take trades like this out of the market. All right, I hope everyone has a terrific holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. We are so blessed at Simpler Futures. I'm so grateful for such a great group of people that I get to spend my day with every day. And that's something I think a lot of people in my position don't emphasize enough. I'm trading alongside you all. This is where I spend my day too, right? And having a group of people that are positive and are learning and inquisitive and supportive, it not only makes for a great tribe in the room, and I'm so grateful, but it makes for better trading. It's a better environment, right? And that matters. And so again, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for being a member of the tribe. If you're just watching the free recap video, I really appreciate your time, whether you're a member or not. And I hope these videos are really helping you out. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I will see you all in the next update.